JavaScript Array Methods, Part 72 of 715. Welcome to this tutorial on the String.prototype.valueOf method in JavaScript. This method is fundamental for understanding how JavaScript handles string values, especially when dealing with both primitive strings and string objects. The valueOf method, when called on a string object, returns the primitive string value wrapped by that object. In JavaScript, strings can exist as primitive values, like hello, or as string objects, created using new string, hello. While often used implicitly by JavaScript itself, explicitly calling valueOf ensures you get the raw string data. You can use this. The primary use case for String.valueOf is to explicitly retrieve the primitive string from a string object. This might be necessary in scenarios where you're dealing with mixed types or ensuring strict type comparisons. More commonly, JavaScript implicitly calls valueOf when a string object is used in a context expecting a primitive string, such as string concatenation, comparisons, or when converting to a string representation. Now let's break down the code line by line. First, here, we create a string object named item by using the new string constructor. This wraps the primitive string JavaScript inside an object. We then call the valueOf method on our item string object. This method extracts and returns the underlying primitive string value. Then, logging result shows us the primitive string JavaScript, which was unwrapped from the object. Finally, we log the type of result, confirming that it is indeed a string primitive, not an object. And that's the String.prototype.valueOf method. While often working behind the scenes, understanding its role in converting string objects to their primitive values is key to mastering JavaScript string manipulation. It ensures you're always working with the core string data when needed. Next part 73-715 coming soon.